So let's just sit for a few minutes so we can hear this teaching. Let's just rest our mind to sit quietly for a few minutes. Okay. Okay, so I'll just be reading through, Shannon and I will read through this section as we usually do. Oh, and first of all, thank you. I think I forgot to welcome everyone. So welcome, big virtual hug. We're not here, we're in God's mind. We are the love of God. Hugging and singing to each other in God, in love, in infinite love. And so while we think we're in a body, reading A Course in Miracles, it tells us we're not in a body. Let's get into this section and let him be in charge. So Shannon and I just surrender all the time. Just there's nothing different to being a student, to being looking like a teacher. It's not me doing it. It's just a constant surrender. You speak through me, you be in me, you be my mind. So so we're going through the last bit of chapter 27, the hero of the dream. The body is the central figure in the dreaming of the world. There is no dream without it, nor does it exist without the dream in which it acts as if it were a person to be seen and be believed. It takes the central place in every dream, which tells the story of how it was made by other bodies, born into the world outside the body, lives a little while and dies, to be united in the dust with other bodies, dying like itself. In the brief time allotted it to live, it seeks for other bodies as its friends and enemies. Its safety is its main concern. Its comfort is its guiding rule. It tries to look for pleasure and avoid the things that would be hurtful. Above all, it tries to teach itself its pains and joys are different and can be told apart. Okay, so I'm just sort of feeling to say something a little bit on this. So if we can sort of try to look at this section sort of like above the battleground, looking at the body as the hero of the dream. So feeling that we're looking at how we might get up in the morning out of bed and we might feel ourselves saying, you know, I'm this character playing its part. So it's like I've woken up in the morning, I get out of bed and I'm the hero of the dream. I'm this one. I like this. This is my pleasure here. I was born out of these bodies and I'm looking at a graveyard and that's where I'm going to end up. And if you can try to sort of see all this from somewhere back, somewhere not in the egoic mind, This is the little ego mind thinking it's the central figure of the dream. It wakes up and it's the central figure in the world, you could say. It's like wakes up and it says, I'm separate and I'm important. And I know we haven't got quite yet through this reading, but this is extreme painful and fearful when we think we're the hero of the dream or the character in the dream. When we're associating with this, we have fear, we have guilt, we feel stuck in a body, we feel at the effect of all the body, we are stuck in a dream and we don't need it. We don't need it, but we don't realize. So this section is all about showing us what we think we are. So when you're fully in the ego, you should say, yes, I feel I've been born from bodies. I feel like I'm going to end up, this body's going to die and this body's me and I'm going to end up in the grave. And I've got a brief time allotted to me. But we will end up laughing at what this little ego thinks it's got. It's really this little ego mind that thinks it's the ruler of the world. It thinks it's the hero. It thinks it's little and it's suffering. It's got its whole world around it as in important, but suffering, false innocence. It's just a whole thought system and in our mind that has a whole story. And we are going to, hopefully through these teachings and through these Zooms and anything else you're doing, come to really see that this ego is trying to be its little hero. I'm going to talk a little bit more about another analogy that he's given me to give today. But this is we should end up laughing at ourselves for the character that we're trying to play. All right. Okay, Shannon, can you do the next bit? Thank you.
Sure. Thanks, Kate. The dreaming of the world takes many forms because the body seeks in many ways to prove it is autonomous and real. It puts things on itself that it has bought with little metal discs or paper strips the world proclaims as valuable and real. It works to get them doing senseless things and tosses them away for senseless things it does not need and does not even want. It hires other bodies that they may protect it and collect more senseless things that it can call its own. It looks about for special bodies that can share its dream. Sometimes it dreams it is a conqueror of bodies weaker than itself, but in some phases of the dream, it is the slave of bodies that would hurt and torture it.
The body's serial adventures. I love that word, that phrase. The body's serial adventures from the time of birth to dying are the theme of every dream the world has ever had. The hero of this dream will never change, nor will its purpose. Through the dream itself, though the dream itself takes many forms and seems to show a great variety of places and events wherein its hero finds itself, the dream has but one purpose, taught in many ways. This single lesson does it try to teach again and still again, and yet once more, that it is cause and not effect. And you are its effect and cannot be its cause. So what those last few lines mean, he's really saying that the body's serial adventures and this single lesson, all this stuff that we've just read out, he's saying that the lesson that we're looking at here is that the world is the cause. It caused me. I came from the body, so it was outside me. I was born by something outside me. I'm going to die from something outside me, something affecting me. So I'm going to die from something from my body, which is actually outside my mind, but we seem to be in the body. So all these serial dreams and the dream of all the events, the body serial adventures, if you can think of, like, if you can look back on your life and just say, I've been a little character in a dream and I'm on my serial adventures. Here's the serial adventure of Cate turning up in a Zoom as a teacher. That's my serial. I'm always in the dream. I'm always on a serial adventure, right? Except today, my serial adventure includes the Holy Spirit. He comes on the serial adventure. So it becomes a happy serial adventure. Can you imagine every day waking up and saying, all right, I'm on my happy serial adventure today. Wherever I go, I've got the Holy Spirit in my mind. So I'm going to see happiness and I'm going to bless everyone and extend love. So while you're in the body, you can just thank the body for its use for you to carry around and go on the happy serial adventure. So it's really cool. If you look at just your life as I'm on the stage of the world, and I put my clothes on, and this is my wardrobe I've picked out today. Like if you're imagine you're on a stage every day, you're getting up, and you might say you work as a plumber. You put on your plumber's outfit, you say, the character I'm playing today is of a plumber. So I'm the character playing the Course in Miracles teacher. So this is my serial adventures in the happy dream. And so you can lie in bed and say, I'm going to play the part of a sick person as part of my dream. And I know this might sound harsh, especially when you're sick, and the mind is sick, because the body can't be sick. The mind's sick. It just projects it out into the body. But what I'm being really guided to bring a lightness to this teaching. So you might start to get some seeing of it through how we believe we're the character called Cate, and Cate used to be an accountant, so she believed, and my serial adventures were that I went to Course in Miracles retreats, and I had my children, and I'm playing the character in the dream. And I'm the hero, and I'm looking for pleasures, and I'm saying, oh, my pleasure is here, all my pain's there, and I've got to try to tell them apart. But this is meant to be, this was all part of the healing of my mind when I was going through my healing process. He showed me how I'm a character. He said, you just imagine you get up every day and you've decided to play the character called Cate, and Cate the accountant. Hang on, I've just got to turn my phone off. Someone's trying to ring. So another character's ringing. So I'm hoping I'm bringing some lightness to this. So, you can just say, wake up each day and just say, what's my character going to do today? And have a lightness about it, because you're always a character in the dream, and your beliefs will take you. You can go down the ego suffering path, that I'm this little body, and play the serious character, or you can just say, I'm just seeing that you're a character in a dream lifts you out of that seriousness, and you're sort of viewing yourself sort of from another place, where you see, oh, look, the character's very serious there, and look what the character's cooking for dinner. So you can just look at yourself as a character in the dream. It's helpful. That's what I was guided to do, as you know, as one of the many healings of my mind. And he said, you don't just play your part. You're playing a female role. So imagine you're getting ready for a play on a stage, and you're behind the scenes, and someone says, now this is the wardrobe you're picking out today. You're going to put this pink top on and the glasses, and go and play the character that's a Course in Miracles teacher. Get on a suit. And you go on the stage and you do it. Or whatever you are, whatever you do, however you do it, just always remember, just try to think that you've dressed up and you've come in and you're playing a character. And it can really lighten up. It can lighten up because the dream is always on. You can either be in the happy dream or the suffering dream. And we just want to say this, I want to be the character that's light and happy. And so now I've just got to try and, so I've read, so the body's serial adventures from the time of birth to dying are the theme of every dream the world has ever had. The hero of this dream will never change, nor will its purpose. So I believe I'm this important character that needs to be heard. This is the ego's part of our mind. It's part of our mind that is fully immersed in the dream. That's why Jesus is trying to get us to see ourselves as a character in a dream. And part of our mind is dreaming it, and that part of our mind will see what the dream is and will awaken to see that this is just a silly dream the mind had, and we're back with God. We've always been with God. But we're back with God, but we're using this body now, repurposing it to have a happy dream. So I think, Shannon, is it your turn to read?
Sure. Cate, as you were talking, I was reminded of all of these different identifications that I kind of like had constructed around like this idea of Shannon. And I mean, it was even down to this idea of spiritual Shannon that I actually had to like look at and let go of. And as we do that, as we look at like these things that we're identifying with in whatever way, that's like what frees us up to be able to step back, like you were saying, Cate, and just really view it instead of like coming from that vantage point of body and worlds. Like our starting point now is behind the body. And so behind the body, we're not attached to anything about it. We don't have any identifying factors, I guess, where we're saying like, this is me. And then that's kind of what opened me up for the happy dream, and letting go of like the mother identification, letting go of the corporate world executive identification, and not having any kind of attachment to any of those ideas, and just looking at them with Jesus and letting them go. And so, yeah, like that's kind of like the path that he takes us on, to be able to let go of this identification as a body, because all of these things are kind of layered up on top of that. So like when I let go of spiritual Shannon, there was so much hidden just under that one identification, because I felt like, oh, well, I'm a spiritual person, so I'm not allowed to behave this way, or that way. I can't be angry at people or yell at them or whatever. So like there was all this stuff pushed under that. So when spiritual Shannon was gone, then there was like all of these things, like all of these little forgiveness lessons that kind of came up, like just bubbled to the surface out from under that one identification. And it was really freeing. And it's so funny because, there's so many different, I can't even name them all. There were so many different identifications that I realized through my forgiveness practice and process, that just, I had to look at them. I had to let them go. And with each one, I was freer and freer and freer. And I felt myself stepping back and back and back with the Holy Spirit, and just being in that spirit place and coming from there instead of coming from the body place against the world. So anyway, okay, so we're on paragraph 4. Thus are you not the dreamer, but the dream. And so you wander idly in and out of places and events that it contrives. That this is all the body does is true, for it is but a figure in a dream. But who reacts to figures in a dream unless he sees them as if they were real? And that's kind of like letting go of these identifications. They're no longer real for us. You know, there's no reality in them anymore, because we're starting to have touches and experiences of reality. And we know that our reality is not this. This is not it. And neither are any of these other figures. So then we're seeing our brothers in pure innocence and light. But who reacts to figures in a dream unless he sees them as if they were real? The instant that he sees them as they are, they have no more effects on him, because he understands he gave them their effects by causing them and making them seem real.
Thanks, Shannon. So he's asking us to look at all the figures here as dream figures. So when he says we're the dreamer of the dream, it's part of our mind that's dreaming it. It's not you as, it's not me as Cate, because the idea of Cate is actually made up from my beliefs in my mind. So Cate actually has, the idea of a Cate or Cate has no reality except from beliefs. So if I had no beliefs, no opinions, nothing to say, you wouldn't be able to say, I know Cate, right? So that's what forgiveness does. It takes away all our beliefs, our grievances, our opinions, and that's the ego, right? And the ego is the idea of a separate person. So that's why we have to do forgiveness on all those beliefs. And then as those beliefs go, there's less and less of what you would call, you call yourself the name, but you're like, well, who am I? Because without my beliefs, who would I be? Well, I would be free. I would be just have this mind that is open and loving and joyful. So, so thus am I the dreamer. The dream, the hero of the dream. The dream is coming. So this is my experience. I'm not talking about the course here. This is what was sort of I've seen in my own mind, or not my mind. It's hard using the limited language of the ego to explain this, but you can see in your mind, you'll be able to see where there was a choice for the dream, and you'll be able to see how the dream got projected out of your mind, and you'll get to see how the dream is false. You'll get to see how you have played the character and thought the character was real. All these teachings are meant to help you. They're like, this is like a little segment. So this little segment is not all of it, because we have to understand that God is, and that there nothing else is. So this little part we're going through today is like zooming in under magnifying glass and just talking about just the dream, just getting us to notice more and more how we feel ourselves to be a figure in the dream or a figure in the world. But we're really asked to see ourselves. He's asking us to look at what we're doing, not from being in it, but from back. So we can start to laugh and say, oh, look what the character in the dream did today. No, it stumbled, it fell over, it drove on the wrong side of the road, or it forgot its shopping, or, And this means that you travel lighter, you lighten up, you lose that seriousness, because if you can know that who you are is never been in a body and is not a body and is not a character in this dream nor in any other dream, because you're going to have these serial dreams, which she calls reincarnation, and you might even remember a prior lifetime, a prior dream lifetime. So one of the things he's going to show you is that all these dreams are just serial dreams of different characters. So, you know, I have a memory of being a male in a previous life, but none of that was true. That was just a memory of me, my mind healing through the serial dreams here. So this is not a world, it's not an earth, it's not a universe, it's a dream. And we are the dream character, and you don't have to get fearful about that teaching. If you just see yourself as someone dressing you in the morning, putting on your clothes, picking it out and saying, here, put it on, go be Cate the accountant today. I think you'll do a really good act. You know, you're acting on the stage, right? And if you see, like Shakespeare said, the whole world's a stage, you know, and see yourself as the actor. And if you get angry with someone, say, gee, I did a great job today. My character was very convincing to the other character. It really thought I was angry. And therefore, it's like you can take yourself a lot lighter. And if someone's getting angry with you or upset, you can say, wow, that character is really doing a good job. The audience will be amazed by that acting. And it doesn't mean that you don't respond correctly to if someone's upset. It's just a way for you to lighten up about this world, this dream. It's just a way for you to really just lighten up. That's what he's telling me. He's just saying just to lighten up, just to see yourself playing your character. It doesn't matter, you know, sometimes you see people, they want to go through a change, they'll change their, you know, from male to female, or they'll change, they'll put on all like different clothes, or they'll get dreadlocks, or they'll, you know, they go into spiritual communities and they just dress all in their spiritual clothes and like rainbow clothes and grow their hair, and they're just playing another character. They're never a character in a dream. We've never been a character. But if you can take yourself lightly in that you are, because then it's just a way to come to be freer. So, because this dream is terrible, it's horrendous. We are so stuck in this fear, this body identification. It is hell. There's no two ways about it. It is complete hell when you are stuck in the ego. And you want to do everything you can through these teachings to let the world go, because there is nothing here for us. There's no pleasure. There's no changeless dwelling place here. We have to really seriously, if we see how this world is, really take off the eyes and, you know, and just see it's everything eats everything here. It's a dream of death. It's a dream of a slaughterhouse. There's nothing to get. There's no love to get here. There's nothing. So this encourages us to give up the world, to let it go, and to choose again, to choose God, to come to look at what we're looking at and say, who made this? Is this something that God would make? Would God seriously make a place like this? No. The answer is no. This wasn't made. And so we're encouraged to look at it as something that was made in our mind. Now, even if we haven't any awareness of how we made it, he's telling us that there's part of our mind that is dreaming this dream, and it's a collective. We all look like different bodies and different minds coming out of different bodies. But if you can tell yourself that there's we're all got the one mind, right? So that's why he says we are the dreamer. He doesn't mean the individual character is dreaming. He means that there's part of our mind, this one son's mind, that is dreaming it. And he's asking us to get into connection with that and to be open, to have that revealed to us by coming to see how you see that is when you suddenly realize how much you want someone to be guilty. That's when it opens up. Oh, I see how I'm projecting the guilt. And that's when you start to have all this, it's like the unraveling of how the mind works. And this is all part of the forgiveness process. And it steps us back. How we came into the dream, we stepped in. We have to go back the way we came in. So you have to start where you are. You have to start there and do the forgiveness. But you end up, as you get closer to the end, you're going to have to surrender everything. Everything has to be surrendered. You have to come to God with empty hands. And that time will be presented in the right time. But seeing yourself as a character in the dream, it doesn't have to be serious. It can be taken lighter and it can really help you. So like tomorrow morning when you get up, just say, what will my character play today? Which clothes will my character put on? And here I go out, I'll either be the suffering character or I'll be the happy character. And it can be really helpful if you can see that you're a character on a stage. Just look at the world as a stage, and here I am. And if you see yourself arguing with someone, you just say, my character argued today. And you can laugh. You can laugh more at what your character does, right? My character was really good, and just imagine an audience watching you, right? Just imagine wherever you go, there's an audience sitting there going, yeah, Cate, great. That was so good what you did today. Wow, your acting was really good. So it can, and just look around and pretend there's an audience out there when you're speaking to someone and just say, oh yeah, we're on the stage now. And this is my acting. This is what this is meant to do, this section. It's meant to, you're meant to see yourself as a character in the dream, a character on a stage, right? This is part of the lightening up. How willing are you to escape effects of all the dreams the world has ever had? Is it your wish to let no dream appear to be the cause of what you do? Then let us merely look upon the dream's beginning, for the part you see is the second part, whose cause lies in the first. So what he's saying is we're just seeing the dream, but we're seeing the second part, which is the dream. We're not seeing the first part where we just said to God, hey, I'm scared of something. I think I did something. Oh, I think I did something wrong. And I'm just going over here to get away from you and try to do something else. Try to make a world and dilly-dally around here because I think I'm guilty. So I can't see the first part of that. I can now. My mind is opened up to seeing that. So it will be revealed to you how not you as the person. When I say you, I mean the decision making, the mind that chose the dream. No one asleep and dreaming in the world remembers his attack upon himself, which is this attack that I'm guilty, and therefore I'm going to try and be a little character in a dream. Sorry. No one believes there really was a time when he knew nothing of a body and could never have conceived this world as real. So if you have got no one believes there really was a time when he knew nothing of a body. So think about it. Have you ever had an awareness of yourself never being a body? and could never have conceived this world as real. So he's telling us we have no awareness of that, but we will become aware. It will be revealed to all of us. There's no doubt. You will see it. You just have to keep on practicing this forgiveness. Just have to keep on putting the Course's teachings as the most important thing in your life, in every day, every moment. It will all be revealed, and there'll just be joy and happiness. You'll just be taking the world less seriously, and it'll be the happy dream. He would have seen at once that these ideas are illusion, too ridiculous for anything but to be laughed away. Right. How serious they now appear to be. So when we're in the ego mind, everything is serious. It's pain, it's suffering, it's sickness, it's hell, it's guilt, it's worry, it's depression, it's anxiety, what they call mental illness. We can see that. So why wouldn't we want to be free with every part of our being? Why wouldn't we turn to God, away from this world? And this is what he's trying to encourage us to do. We can remember this. We can remember our true home, and we will. But if we but look directly at their cause, and we will see the grounds for laughter, not a cause for fear. So we've got to look at the cause, which is the ego mind. We have to look at the cause, the ego thoughts, the guilt, the fear, the belief in the body. We have to look at them with the gentleness of Jesus and the Holy Spirit. They shine it away. They say, no, you're not a body. You're beautiful love, your spirit, your eternal infinite beingness. You are joy, you are happiness, you are loved, you are love. Okay, Shannon?
Thank you. Let us return the dream he gave away unto the dreamer, who perceives the dream as separate from himself and done to him. Into eternity, where all is one, there crept a tiny mad idea at which the Son of God remembered not to laugh. In his forgetting, did the thought become a serious idea and possible for both accomplishment and real effects. Together, we can laugh them both away and understand that time cannot intrude upon eternity. It is a joke to think that time can come to circumvent eternity, which means there is no time. Yeah, the laughing away is really, that's been my experience for sure. There's that gentle laughter where we recognize that it's actually nothing. The beliefs that we have are really not anything. And it's so freeing. It's such a wonderful experience to laugh at it.
So together we can laugh them both away. This is Jesus, the manifestation of the Holy Spirit. Together we who are lost in a dream of separation and feeling ourselves 100% to be a body and touching things and seeing things and talking to other people as if they're real, we cannot get to this without help. There is no way that I could, the belief, the character that I thought I was, all the beliefs that Cate had that made up the character called Cate. I believed I was a person, a body, everything in my mind was believed. Couldn't laugh them away myself because I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the ego thought system that it is and all part of that is seeing the world as real and believing it's real. So together we can laugh it away. It's so important to really call on Jesus and the Holy Spirit to help you. Now, I hear from a lot of people that say they find it very difficult to hear the Holy Spirit and Jesus. And it does feel difficult at times. I know for myself, when I was going through a lot of fear in my journey, it's funny because when you're in fear, that's the time that you want to be joined, but you feel so disconnected. So you have to really dedicate more time to prayer, asking, help me, be in my mind, repeating the lessons of the course, calling out, just constantly repeating something. Like what I used to do is just repeat something from the course all day long. I would try to not have a period during the day where something from the course wasn't in my mind. You know, if there was a lesson to be done, I would be repeating it. Now, when I was at work, obviously I couldn't do that. I would be working, but I would stop every couple of minutes and repeat the lesson. And then in my lunch break, I would do course stuff. And as soon as I left work, I would do my course stuff, and I would go home and I would listen to teachers, read the book, listens to music that was course related. I wouldn't have tried to like block out the world and like soak, like if my mind was a sponge, and my mind's not in my head, by the way, but if our mind is like a sponge, to bring in all the right-minded thoughts, like fully bring in all the right-minded thoughts and have them. And that's how you transfer from the ego thoughts to the right-minded thoughts, by your willingness. It just takes such a strong willingness to decide that I want the peace of God above this rubbish here that I'm seeking. Because we really think that there's something of value in the world. The ego is very tempting, and it says, oh, look, the course sounds really nice and, you know, you can come to God. But I really think this next relationship and this guy or this girl is going to supply the love that I want. It's so tempting. The ego is going to so tempt you over and over again that there's something in this world that will bring you pleasure or happiness. So just be aware of that. And when you fall for it, just say, well, the character in the dream just thought there was something here. That brings a lightness to you. Just laugh at yourself. So we can laugh these things away and understand that time cannot intrude on eternity. So, you know, we're going to use time because this is what the ego made. The ego made time and space. So we think we're in time and space. So we're going to use what the ego made to bring us back home. We're going to unwind from it. So use time wisely. So now we're going to use time for a forgiveness practice. And forgiveness is anything you do with a right-minded thought, right? Anytime you're in a right-minded thought, repeating your lesson, reading some of the text, coming here to these Zoom meetings, or all the other teachers that you listen to, or even if you do some teaching, they're all helpful if you just let it go. So, but it's really about surrendering. It's really about, I step back and let you lead the way. I'm doing nothing. So, you know, I give myself to you, God. You know, I want nothing to do with this character called Cate, you know, in terms of its beliefs and its worries and ideas, because it's all just thoughts in the mind, right? Timelessness, in which time made real. So a timelessness is heaven. And we've just made in our mind, part of our mind, which we will become aware of, has projected this dream. So it's like the projector's behind us. We're looking at the dream. We can't see the projector. And how we turn to the projector is we turn around when we look within our mind and we see how we want the guilt to be real in someone else. And that's the key, looking at how you want the guilt, where you want to find it. And that's what makes the dream real for us. we want to find the guilt. And that's, if you can focus on where you're finding the characters guilty, you're judging them, you feel attacked by what they're doing, you are making the world real. And all these teachings are all in the course. So that's the way to find how the dreamer of the dream, the area of your mind that is projecting guilt, and you can see it. It will be revealed to you. Just look to see, who am I finding guilty at the moment? And just look within and just ask the Holy Spirit to look at why you want that character to be guilty. That character's on the stage with you, thinking they're a real character like you, dreaming the same dream. Why do I want that person, that character, that body, that bit of flesh, the eyes, the character moving around? Why do I want him or her to be guilty? And look with the Holy Spirit. He will show you your guilt, why you want that, why you want to project it out. And he'll show you your guilt. And then the next step, he'll show you that you're guiltless. He'll show you that you aren't a body. He'll show you that you're the love of God. And so the 2 steps away, he'll bring you back. And that's how we have to look. We have to turn within and look at our mind all the time. What's my belief now? What's my thoughts? Where am I guilty? And invite him in to look at it with us. And if we can remember that, to do that as much as we can through the day, Holy Spirit, Jesus, look at this with me. Look at my mind. These are my thoughts. This is what I'm saying. You talk to him as if he's your teacher, and you come to him and you say, I really think that person is guilty and they're doing this and doing that. Show me how this projection is working. Show me where the guilt is and why I'm projecting it. And he will. It will be revealed. And it's so lovely. And it is a gentle laughter, mind you. It's a beautiful, gentle laughter. So in timelessness, in heaven, in which is time made real in our dream, a part of God that can attack itself, well, that's impossible. A separate brother as an enemy, that's impossible, because God's love, so there can't be any separate brother that's an enemy. A mind within a body, all our forms of circulatory, whose ending starts at its beginning, ending at its cause. It's just really saying all this stuff, all we're seeing is caused by us believing in this tiny mad idea that we're guilty. The world you see depicts exactly what you thought you did. We thought we did something to God. We felt guilty. We closed it off. Now we're looking. And now we're seeing the guilt. Oh yeah, this is a guilty world. Look at all the guilty people. Except that now you think that what you did is being done to you. So we have to, each of these lines, in all these teachings, we have to say, yes, I believe that people are being mean to me, that they're treating me unfairly. I'm unfairly treated. So now he's telling us, now you think that what you did is being done to you. The guilt for what you thought is being placed outside yourself and on a guilty world that dreams your dreams and thinks your thoughts instead of you. It brings its vengeance, not your own. It keeps you narrowly confined within a body, which it punishes because of all the sinful things the body does within its dream. You have no power to make the body stop its evil deeds. because you did not make it and cannot control its actions, nor its purpose, nor its fate. That section, he's saying that's not the truth, that's not the right-minded teaching to bring us out. His teachings are telling us, this teaching is telling us what we are doing. We think we have no power to make the body stop its evil deeds. We think we have no power in anything. We really believe that the world's doing all this stuff and it's just attacking us. And we're this little body here in a world, we think that the cause of all our problems is outside us. And we're very rarely, I mean, when we come to the Course, he says, go within, let's go into your mind. Sorry if I keep pointing to the head, because the mind isn't in the head, right? The mind isn't anywhere. It's a non-place, but it is a thing. The mind is like all the thoughts you have, even all the ego thoughts are in your mind. And the mind is formless. It's not in the brain. It's not in the body. So he's saying here what we are doing as egos. We've just mistaken. Shannon?
Yeah, there's also, Cate, the temptation to take anything seriously. And that's always a temptation from the ego. I mean, the whole cause of the separation was forgetting to laugh. And so, like, that's also a really good indicator for us if we're tempted to take anything here seriously. It doesn't matter what it is, we can very quickly remember to ask to see it differently from the Holy Spirit, and we'll be shown. We can definitely trust that. The world but demonstrates an ancient truth. You will believe that others do to you exactly what you think you did to them. But once deluded into blaming them, you will not see the cause of what they do, because you want the guilt to rest on them. How childish is the petulant device to keep your innocence by pushing guilt outside yourself, but never letting go. It is not easy to perceive the jest when all around you do your eyes behold its heavy consequences, but without their trifling cause. Without the cause do its effects seem serious and sad indeed, yet they but follow, and it is their cause that follows nothing and is but a jest.
In gentle laughter does the Holy Spirit perceive the cause and looks not to its effects. How else could he correct your error, who have overlooked the cause entirely? He bids you bring each terrible effect to him, that you may look together on its foolish cause and laugh with him a while. You judge effects, but he has judged their cause, and by his judgment are effects removed. Perhaps you come in tears, but hear him say, my brother, Holy Son of God, behold your idle dream in which this could occur, and you will leave the holy instant with your laughter and your brothers joined with his. Shannon?
The secret of salvation is but this, that you are doing this unto yourself. No matter what the form of the attack, this still is true. Whoever takes the role of enemy and of attacker, still is this the truth. Whatever seems to be the cause of any pain and suffering you feel, this is still true. For you would not react to all the figures in a dream you knew that you were dreaming. Let them be as hateful and as vicious as they may, they could have no effect on you unless you fail to recognize it is your dream.
This is so helpful because there's no wiggle room in this. This is a way to be free, to really, really focus on this teaching, that it's our dream and we are giving the cause. He's asking us to go to the cause, which is the guilt in our mind. And he says that every single time you think you're upset, the cause is not out there, it's in your mind. And if you can have the Holy Spirit correct it, you're correcting the cause. You're not trying to, the effect will disappear. He says, forgive and this will disappear. This single lesson learned will set you free from suffering. That's so beautiful, because don't we want to be set free from suffering? We so want to be set free from suffering, and we've been searching and searching for a way to be set free from suffering. And here is this lesson. Now, it's not an easy lesson. There's no two ways about it. It's not an easy lesson, but you can learn it. If you devote yourself 24/7 to these teachings and make them the way to come home to freedom, and you will have freedom. But while you're still seeking something in the world, you will still suffer. And so it's like letting go of what you think you know of in the world to come to something that feels when we're letting go of all the worldly stuff that we think is real, we've got no idea. We can't remember what God and heaven is like. So that's why we have to trust, because we're trusting before it's revealed. So there's trust in the middle, the bridge of trust. So we think we're trusting everything in the world, our work and our friendships and the money and the things of the world. And we're like, what happens if I let go of all this stuff? But we have to let go of valuing. I will still use it all, but what we need to do is let go of the guilt, let go of thinking someone's doing something to us. And so the bridge of trust takes us to heaven, that we have to go across the bridge without knowing heaven. We'll have little holy instants where we have those little seeings, and that will help us develop the trust to come to God, to let go of the world, to let go of the values. So this single lesson learned will set you free from suffering. We have to see this is a dream. I'm dreaming it. It's coming from part of my mind. It looks real, yes, but the Holy Spirit's going to show me that I'm in a dream. It has no reality at all. I'm with God. I never came into a body. So this single lesson learned will set you free from suffering, whatever form it takes. The Holy Spirit will repeat this one inclusive lesson of deliverance until it has been learned, regardless of the form of suffering that brings you pain. So it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing or whether it's the next dream lifetime. He will repeat this lesson. He will just come with you and show you. It's like it's gently, gently changed within our mind, bit by bit. He showed me a brick wall and he said, each time you do forgiveness, a brick is being removed. You won't know that last brick. But when it's removed, there's just open space in your mind. It's just love. It's just all-encompassing love. So the Holy Spirit just comes with us on our journey. He removes the brick. You say, Holy Spirit, I'm upset by this today. Help me. Look at it with me. Or repeat your lesson. You just, my message to you is just to spend all day doing something from the course-related material. Just come to God in the morning. Just do everything you can, the best you can, and give this course 100%. Work with the Holy Spirit, develop that relationship, develop a relationship with Jesus if you can. You'll get your own guide. So the Holy Spirit will repeat this lesson. Whatever hurt you bring to him, he will make answer with this very simple truth. For this one answer takes away the cause of every form of sorrow and pain. The form affects his answer not at all, for he would teach you but the single cause of all of them, no matter what their form. So it doesn't matter whether you have cancer, COVID, any form, pain, paraplegic, any of the forms that you feel are suffering or illness or depression or anxiety, anything, he will take you back to the cause of it all if you're willing to look with him. So forget about trying to change the dream world. Change your mind. Just say, right, I'm ready for a whole change of mind now, Holy Spirit. Come in. You're the cleaner. Clean it up. And you will understand that miracles reflect the simple statement, I have done this thing, and it is this I would undo. So the cause is in my mind. I have done this. In other words, I'm taking responsibility and I would have it undone. That's just my words over this, that I have done this thing. So all of this is just to say the dream is not being done to me. The cause is in my mind and the dream will be healed. It will not be a dream of separation, a dream of death, a dream of hell and guilt. It will be a happy dream when I look with the Holy Spirit. So we've got 2 paragraphs. Let's try to get through them. Thanks, Shannon.
I just remembered that I was having a few rough days there in the beginning. And, you know, I had done a few really big forgiveness practices and experienced miracles, but then I just had like probably 2 rough days. And in those 2 days, he just kept playing over and over in my head, row, row, row your boat. To the point where I was driving to work singing row, row, row your boat, you know, and just merrily, 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 merrily. And it was just such a wonderful, like, he'll really come in, like it is an individualized journey, as Cate was mentioning, because he'll come in the way that like will lighten it up. Like I was taking myself too seriously. I was seeing myself as a victim and I wasn't able to hear his voice to get out of it. And so he just plays this song in my head and I'm just, you know, driving to work. So he'll do anything for us. I mean, he's always there, and always just gives us whatever we need. That was one of my favorites. Bring then all forms of suffering to him who knows that everyone is like the rest. He sees no differences where none exists, and he will teach you how each one is caused. None has a different cause from all the rest, and all of them are easily undone by but a single lesson truly learned. Salvation is a secret you have kept but from yourself. That's the best sentence ever. I'm going to read that again. Salvation is a secret you have kept but from yourself. The universe proclaims it so. Yet to its witnesses, you pay no heed at all, for they attest the thing you do not want to know. They seem to keep it secret from you, yet you need but learn. You chose but not to listen, not to see.
So just before I read the last paragraph of this chapter and this section, I'm just guided to read again. The secret of salvation is but this, that you are doing this unto yourself. No matter what the form of attack, this still is true. Whoever takes the role of enemy and of attacker, still is this the truth. Whatever seems to be the cause of any pain and suffering you feel, this is still true. You can read this section again. Like, I'd encourage everyone to read this a few times, more than a few times if you like. When I read that, it's what it does is it tells you precisely that nobody is ever doing anything to us. We are doing it to ourselves. In other words, it's the ego thought system of guilt, fear, and attack that is doing it to us. It's not telling us we're guilty and to blame for what's going on. That's the way the ego interprets this teaching. Jesus is telling us where the cause is. He's telling us, in my little book, it's page 587. It's just paragraph 10 of this section. Someone's asked where that's from, this teaching. So if you could even write that little section down and remind yourself that even though you want to be tempted into believing even slightly that something outside of you is causing you to be upset, this little section, you can remind yourself that I am doing this to myself. It's a way, it's not to be saying I'm guilty for doing this. It's saying the ego thoughts in my mind are doing this to myself. I'm listening to the ego and thus I'm upset. The ego mind says that something outside me is guilty and is causing me or attacking me and upsetting me. So this is like, there's the other section about responsibility for sight. This is the responsibility for sight, just said in different words. So Jesus is constantly trying to remind us that it doesn't matter how many times we muck up. The Holy Spirit's lesson will come in, but he's telling us that we're never upset for the reason we think. The guilt's not out there. The guilt's in our mind. And if you can just turn always and just turn within and say, okay, Holy Spirit, heal the guilt. And then I won't see it. I couldn't see guilt in anyone or anything or anywhere if I don't have guilt in my mind, because I'm only seeing what's in my mind projected out. So if we can take that 100% responsibility for anything we see and bring it to him, it means that we will have the peace of God sooner than later. So we're using time for a good use. Okay, so the last paragraph. How differently will you perceive the world when this is recognized? When you forgive the world your guilt, you will be free of it. Its innocence does not demand your guilt, nor does your guiltlessness rest on its sins. This is the obvious. A secret kept from no one but yourself. And it is this that has maintained you separate from the world and kept your brother separate from you. Now need you but to learn that both of you are innocent or guilty. The one thing that is impossible is that you be unlike each other. That they both be true. This is the only secret yet to learn, and it will be no secret you are healed. So he's just saying, whatever you see in your brother, you'll believe you're like that. So if you think your brother's guilty, you're just going to manifest and believe in guilt and just keep guilt going, or you're going to see innocence. So the way to fast track to be free is to see everyone's innocence. So it's a looking within. See, you see, for example, if you think someone's guilty, you can start to see that it's not the body that's guilty, right? It's like their hair isn't guilty, or their hands aren't guilty. It's an idea of guilt in our mind, looking at a body, projecting it. So this is the way you can see how the idea of guilt is always in my mind, because their personality isn't guilty. The personality is made up of their beliefs. They may have chosen wrongly. They may have chosen love lack. But haven't I? Haven't I chosen lack of love many times? Haven't I chose the ego? So I'm accusing my brother of the same thing. I want to stop. Would I accuse my brother, or should I accuse my brother? No, I shouldn't accuse him. He's in the same ego as I am. We're in the dream together. The ego has fractured. So what I want to do to heal it is to see his innocence, the Christ in him, rather than see the guilt in him, and heal my mind and heal our relationship. So I look at him now as innocent, his true self. So Christ is asking me to see my brother's innocence as a way to lift out of the dream of separation. So I join in the Christ mind. I'm joining in the Christ mind, not in the egoic mind of separation. And that's how the Holy Spirit will help us see the innocence. Jesus will come in and love us with his beautiful holy love, and help us heal our belief in our own sin. All these different ways, like we're going to have all these unique little lessons and little ways he's going to speak to us and show us by music, by someone saying something. There's going to be so many ways he's going to communicate with us. All we have to do is just be open. Just open ourselves up. I want to be healed of all this guilt. He will show us if we're really ready to turn within and say, I'm ready. So thank you. That's the end of that section and end of that. So next week we'll have something different to present in the Satsang. And Shannon is now going to take us through a beautiful meditation. So thanks everyone for being here, for joining in this lovely, the hero of the dream. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for giving me the words, showing me what to say. Thank you. Thanks, Shannon.
Before we start the meditation, Cate, do we want to mention the workshop now or after the meditation? Do you want me to do it now? Yeah, okay.
Sorry, yeah, if you feel guided, if you're guided to say it now, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so Cate and I are guided to have a workshop, another all-day workshop. And we just wanted to let everyone know, I will be putting it on the calendar once we figure out what to call it, once we have our guidance on that. But the topic is going to be on sickness and the healing of the idea of that. And it'll be the same structure and time frames that we had done the last time for the Sacred Journey Inward workshop. And then the other one, so that's on Saturday, August 6th. And then the other one it starts that following Tuesday, which would be August 9th. And it's a 6-week course that will be just on Tuesday evenings, but it's really a lot of things in between each Zoom. And that's going to be for parents, called Parents and Children Workshop. And so anyone who has children and wants to transform the relationship from specialness to holiness, this one will be a really great way. We've already done it 2 other times with a group from the UK and a group from Australia. And there will be a limit on that one because we want to keep it a little smaller, just so we can have like really good interactions and things weekly. So more details will be coming out, but we just wanted to let you know. Hopefully I'll have everything updated on the calendar sometime this week. So, okay. So before I start, it's funny that, first of all, as soon as it got dark here, my neighbors love fireworks. Can everyone hear the loud booming that's happening outside? Okay, good. I didn't want it to disturb the meditation. Okay. So before I start with the meditation, I was really guided. I was sitting today and just asking what to take you through. And he asked me to kind of just let everyone know how these meditations kind of came about. And it's very similar to what Cate had been saying, where I got to a point too where I was spending all weekend with him. I was literally in either reading the course, meditating, just talking to him. And I mean, some days on the weekend, I would be in meditation. The cumulative time was about 10 hours that I would be sitting with my eyes closed, maybe 1 hour here, 2 hours there, because I was just always wanting to understand more. I wanted everything to be cleared. And he would come in and show me all of that. And so the more miracles I experienced, the more I want it cleared out of my mind. And that's just how it works. The more you trust, the more you trust. And so it's these meditations that I take you guys through are things where I've literally, they're kind of like a shortened down, condensed version from like a whole weekend of meditating. And so what I like to invite you to do is use these as a springing off point. I mean, I would ask a question and I would sit for a half hour, hour and a half until I got the answer, because that was the only thing that was important to me. Nothing else mattered, but being able to receive the miracle in my mind and shift from fear to love for all the subjects. Anything that I was seeing is different. And so I invite you, because we all have an individualized journey here. We really do. And he's going to speak to us the way that works for us. And so if one of these meditations that I take you through really resonates with you and you're like, wow, this is great, like maybe just sit with him on a longer extended period of time, maybe an hour, start with an hour, see how that feels, and just really wait for his answer, because I promise you, it always comes. His answer always comes to us because it's right there, and it's always right there. And so, I really felt to say that these are more of a springing off point, and it's more just like kind of getting you used to the types of things that you can join with him on and ask him about and let him show you, what you are. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. And while I'm doing this, if everyone could just take a few deep breaths and just really get relaxed and comfortable, what we're going to do is we're going to release the body today of our beliefs about it. We're going to actually set our body free in our mind. Like I said, this took me, I said, for like 48 hours on this one. But we're going to just start with this and see how everything, how it all works. All right, so let me just share my screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, so just get really comfortable, get really relaxed, really deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth, and just let go. Okay. Now we'll start with a prayer to call in Holy Spirit Jesus. So just repeat these words in your mind. Holy Spirit, Jesus, I am asking for your help. I am willing to let go of what is untrue. I will not believe false ideas anymore. Now just allow the desire to join with him fill you up. And just like see if you can just kind of feel that in your heart. Just a strong desire to join with him and to know the truth. Now feel yourself step back. Kind of like take one step back. And you're stepping back with Holy Spirit and Jesus so that your body is in front of you and you're facing it. If it helps, you can visualize seeing yourself in a mirror, like one of those long view mirrors, if that helps, to be able to see yourself in front of yourself. Now we're going to release the body. I'm going to say, I release you from all demands I placed on you. I free you of all judgment. Take a moment now and let these demands and judgments be revealed and let go of them. There could be some around the size or shape of your body. Ideas about aging, things that you believe it needs, or things you wanted to do. Anything that you wish was different about it, that you want to change. It could even be illness or pain, perhaps even pleasure you are seeking through it. Trust that you will be shown what needs to be released. Ask him to bring them in and give them to him and let go of them. And we're just going to take 2 minutes to let some of these judgments and beliefs around the body be revealed and released. Now again, look at the body in front of you and say, I free you of all judgment. Now repeat these words. You are an image I have made. I will not put false ideas about myself onto you anymore. You are innocent. I set you free. I give you to the Holy Spirit to use for His purpose. I allow you to be filled with His love. Now visualize the light of the Holy Spirit coming down and surrounding this body in front of you. It's surrounding it and cleansing it and filling it with love. See how happy and loving it is. See it smiling. See how free it is. It is empty of all thoughts but God's. You may see a glow around it or a light that wasn't there before. I'm going to give you a few minutes now to let the Holy Spirit, Jesus, show you whatever is called for right now. Let Him show it to you. Everything is accomplished through life, and life is of the mind and in the mind. The body neither lives nor dies because it cannot contain you who are life. Now let's join in gratitude for Holy Spirit Jesus. Thank you for showing me the way. Thank you for your love, for your peace, for freedom from illusions. Thank you for your help. You are loved. You are free. You are the Holy Son of God. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready.
I don't want to speak because it just feels like my words will break through that beautiful space. So what I'd like everyone to do is we've finished today just with a silent blessing to each other. So just open your eyes and look at the other characters, the bodies, and really just see them as light. Just let the spirit use this time as you look at the other bodies. You just use him bringing that meditation forward. Let him look with you through the light of love. So we'll just do that for a few minutes before we turn the Zoom off. Try to maintain that place where you're at in the meditation. Feel gratitude to your brother, love. See them as light. And if you feel inclined, you can unmute yourself and do a quiet blessing, just very quietly, if you'd like to speak something out before we finish. Just use gentleness. I love you. I bless you and I honour you as my holy brothers. I see only your innocence. I see only guiltlessness, only holiness. I see the light of love all around me. bathed in light, the light of God's love. So gratitude to everybody, gratitude to Shannon, my co-host, gratitude to everyone who are here today, and we will see you next week for another satsang and meditation. Big hugs, love. Thank you. Bye.